Okay, this is a paint can that I bought from Home Depot, and it's lined. See the gray color? That's a plastic liner. And it's all through this, so I had to burn it out. Okay? This particular one here, I don't have to burn it out. There's no liner. So that's why I decided to go ahead and buy that and show you a how-to video. But this is what the other one is going to end up looking like. Okay? It's got a nice pour spout. The lid fits on there snugly. It's got a cork handle on the lid so that you can grab it while it's hot and it won't burn your fingers. Okay? It's got a bail on it so that you can hang it over a campfire, or you can set it on a campfire and pick it up. Anyway, I'm going to put a bail on this one, and I'm going to put a handle on top of this one, but I haven't decided exactly what handle I want to use. Okay, I've got a piece of antler, and I was thinking about using it for the top, but I've got another piece of antler that I'm going to use for the back of this coffee pot, and I'm going to have to cut it off. It's a little bit too long. It won't sit properly, so I've got a little bit of reshaping to do on it, and I'll show you what it looks like when I get done. Anyway, stay tuned. Let's see what we can make out of a 1-quart unlined paint can. Okay, so I've reshaped my paint can. I used Leatherman pliers. I went the length of the flat part of the jaw and reshaped it. Okay, and I didn't try to crease anything down in here because I wanted a little bit of a smooth transition. I didn't get a perfectly smooth transition, but I was able to work it in, and it will do what I want it to do. So I had to reshape the top just a little bit in order to make the lid fit properly, which it does. It works just fine. Once I get a handle on it, it'll work even better, and I get the handle on the back of the pot like I showed you earlier. And like I say, I got to cut this off, which that's no big deal. It will work just fine once it's in place. And I was careful to avoid the seam because I didn't want to drill through it. So my handle is just off, just slightly off that seam. So I will paint it black on the outside just to protect it, prevent a little bit of rust, and I'll show you the final product when I finish it. I decided to do a little bushcrafting. I got my 20-year-old Leatherman Super Tool 200, and I'm cutting the tip off of this handle, and I've got other ideas that I intend to implement. Just not exactly sure how, but the little tip that I've got left over here could actually end up being the handle for the lid. I don't know how I'm going to do it just yet, but anyway, that's my idea. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, I got it cut all the way through. I've got a little bit of grinding to do on it, but I think it'll fit on there nicely, make a nice little handle. And since the lid comes off really easily, it shouldn't be a problem for me. Anyway, I've got this little work sharp grinder, and what I found is if I take the cover off of it, I can use it to shape my antlers. So I'm going to get that plugged in and get it shaped up, see what we look like then. Okay. Take a look at that. That's going to work nicely. That'll make a nice little handle. Yeah, it'll probably get hot, but it'll make a nice little handle. So I'm doing pretty good with this set of antlers that I harvested off of a deer that I shot last year. So yeah, hey, stay tuned. Let's see what it looks like when it's all done. Okay, I'm going to put 2 holes in this part of the handle to hold it securely on there. And how do I determine where I'm going to put those holes? Well, what I'm going to do, I've got a magic marker, and I'm going to put the handle on the can where I want it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I want it up against this lip right here. So I'm going to trace around this handle. And it's not going to hang perfectly straight down. I already know that. I've already determined that. So I'm going to trace around. And that gives me the general idea of where I'm going to drill my holes. And I'm going to start with a 1/8 inch hole and see what happens from there. I haven't gone to the hardware store to get the screws that I want. What I intend to use is stainless steel, simply because it won't rust. So I'm going to put a hole right here and right here. Okay? And once I get my holes drilled, then I'll set this against there and mark it from the inside so that I can drill straight into it with my drill bit. Okay, and the holes are drilled, so I can put this up there and mark it. And looks like I got some serious burrs to clean up on the inside here, so let me get that taken care of. Okay, I got the burrs knocked off. There's my lid handle. So I'm gonna put this up against there, right where I had it, right where I marked around it. Take my little Sharpie and mark these holes. I got one of them marked. For some reason the other one doesn't want to. There it is. Okay, so I got my 2 holes marked. And I want to drill straight in, as straight as I possibly can. because I want to be able to grab the antler with the screw. So as soon as I get my screws, I'll be in good shape. So my holes are drilled, and you're going to have to take my word for it, they line up perfectly. So I've got to go buy some screws, but in the meantime, I have a good start to a really nice coffee pot. Okay, so I went to the True Value hardware store and picked up some screws, and these are stainless steel, and the reason I want stainless steel is because I don't want them rusting. I know the can will eventually, but I can replace the can. I can't replace the deer antler, and so I bought stainless steel screws. Now, these are Phillips, and they're going to fit in there snug, which is exactly what I want. But since stainless tends to round off rather easily, I bought extras so that when I went to putting this together, I would have something that would or might hold up. So let's get our Phillips tip out, if I can find one. There's a decent one there. Put that in my drill. I also bought O-rings, and I probably don't need them, but I want them to go between the metal and the deer antler. So let's get this started and see what happens. It might work and it might not. All we can do is try, you know what I mean? Put that O-ring over the screw like that. And then go ahead and start the antler tip by hand, in the hopes that when I put the drill to it, it tightens up nicely. Yes, it's going to tighten up nicely. Okay, so that's in there. It held really nicely. And the O-ring has the antler just slightly off of the metal, which is fine. Not going to hurt anything. So, what I want to do next is put my handle on my pot. And I want to drill these in before I go through the metal, because I'm going to have to put these in with a screwdriver I can't get a drill inside there. So I'm going to go ahead and drill these in. That's perfect. And that's perfect. Everything's threaded. So now I can use a regular screwdriver and put these together. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, I got the O-rings on there, and basically the reason I want the O-rings on the coffee pot itself is a seal in case the water level comes up above here. I don't think it will, but anyway, that's the whole purpose of that. So I'm going to get my little Phillips screwdriver and finish this project. Apparently my little Phillips screwdriver isn't as little as I thought it was, but there we go. The threads are already in the bone, so I don't have to worry about it stripping out the head of the screw. And even if it did strip out the head of the screw, I've got 4 others, or 3 others, because I bought extras, because I figured I'd be stripping out these heads, being as to how they're stainless steel. But that seems to have held up really nicely, so I don't have to worry about that. This one's snugged up. And there we have it. One coffee pot, complete with handle. Looks like it's built for a left-hander. Anyway, that's my coffee pot, complete with lid. I like it. If you like this little video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. And click that little bell icon to get notified whenever I put up a new video. Thanks for watching. Now I put this on the burner, and it's just starting to boil. The top handle is not warm, or it's not even warm. It's comfortable. This handle, on the other hand, is getting hot down here at the tip because of the heat from the stove. So that's something I got to kind of keep an eye on. But I'm going to try to use that with a camp stove rather than a stove top. So we'll see what happens when I get it on a camp stove. Okay, brought this to a hard boil. This is still not too hot to touch, even though it was sitting on there. It is still not too hot to touch. There's still a lot of heat coming off of there though, but I wouldn't want to touch the metal itself. Anyway, the antler does its job. What's this one do? It's plenty warm. It is plenty warm. And that's heat transfer from the metal, a lot of it. Some of it's rising from the stove top, but for the most part it's heat transfer from the metal. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and dump this out. So I've got that boiled off. I don't have to worry about it now. It's safe to use. Yes, we've got plenty of lime in our water. Okay, it's time to try out the Ozark Trail camp stove. I've got it burning, I've got it low. The pot is full of cold water. I can turn it up. And we'll see how that does. Okay, I have achieved a rolling boil. And believe it or not, it happened a lot quicker with this Ozark Trail stove than it did with the electric stove. So, I shut it off. The handle is still cool to the touch. It's not hot at all. So I can pick it up off of the Ozark Trail stove and it doesn't burn me. So, for a bushcraft coffee pot slash pot to boil water in, I'd say it's a complete success. Especially if you're going to use the smaller burners like the Ozark Trail or the BRS or the MSR. Okay?